Hello everybody, welcome back. So we're going to be doing our early spring pre-emergent treatment, try to get ahead of the weeds. For that, we're going to be using Tenacity. I like to add Triclopyr 4. We're also going to do some pest control. So we're going to do some Spectricide insect killer. We're going to mix these with surfactant. And so we know where we sprayed some blue dye. So this stuff is pretty gnarly. It's good to have some PPE, especially when you're mixing it. So actually put on some gloves for this. It's good to have these bottles have their own little measuring system over here. Tells you how many teaspoons makes how many gallons. In this case, we're using a 4-gallon tank sprayer. For the Spectricide, use a measuring cup. Steal it from your wife. My wife's still looking for this one. And for other small measurements, it's good to have a couple of syringes around. Another good reason to wear gloves when dealing with the dye. This stuff will stain your fingers. It'll be there for a few days. So I already put some water in the tank. Let's go ahead. So in this case, I know that I need 4 gallons of mixture, and we're spraying at a rate of 1 gallon per 1,000 square feet. Now I have a video on how to calculate how much you're spraying and how to dial it in. These bottles we squeeze, fills up our little measuring gauge. We went a little high there, but this stuff is really thick, so some always gets left behind. Pour it right in, and we still have some left over, so it's okay if we go a little bit over. Triclopyr, we're also going to be doing 4 ounces per gallon, 1 ounce per gallon. So 4 ounces for the whole front lawn. My lawn is roughly, it's almost 4,000 square feet, so the whole tank covers it. We'll use what's left over in the garden. That's 1. 2. 3. And 4. This stuff is actually really good for broadleaf weeds. Poison ivy takes it right out. Black locust, acacia, stuff like that. Insecticide. In this case, we need 16 ounces for 4 gallons. There we go. 16 ounces, almost the full thing. You want to add a pest control to your routine to keep any grubs from messing up your grass. Now the surfactant says 1 teaspoon per gallon, but this isn't as important to get right. You can kind of eyeball this one. This is really just, it keeps, how do I explain it? The surfactant keeps the water wet, so it lets the chemicals penetrate better and stay on. It's basically soap. You'll see as I start putting water in, it's going to start foaming up. And this stuff is also recommended 1 teaspoon per gallon. In this case, we got our little syringe. These are 10 mLs. 5 mLs is 1 teaspoon. So we're gonna do 10 full syringes. And really, this is just for marking purposes, so that you know where you sprayed and you're not overspraying. Sometimes with these chemicals, overspray might hurt the lawn more. Okay, that's our second one. There we go. So you can see the blue dye starts getting all over the place. We can take this off now. You also want to wear some long pants when you're spraying. Respiratory protection, you know. Read the label. Get whatever proper PPE that you need. Keep OSHA happy, you know. We'll just fill this up. See, you know, a nice blue color. And it starts foaming up from that surfactant. We'll just fill this up to the 4-gallon mark. The blue dye also helps you keep track of where your water level is. So it's nice. Like I said, it's mostly there so that we're not overspraying the grass and hurting it. See all the foam building up there from the surfactant. I think we're almost there. Let's switch to cone, try to keep the foam down. A little bit more to go. You see just from the splashback I already got on my fingers, this blue dye. I think we are just about there. Just rinse off the rest so we don't get any more blue stuff all over us. Put this back in. That's our hand. The top back on. Let's close this bottle so we don't knock it over. Yeah, it's nice to give yourself a little cheat sheet. You know, write down what ratios you're using. Keep it around with all this stuff. And see, blue stuff gets everywhere. Give it a little mix. And now we get the spraying. In this case, this is a Scott's backpack sprayer. I have the yellow tip on it, so I know. Let's get some of these weeds over here too. I know the walking pace that I need with this, with the constant flow, with this nozzle, in order to cover roughly 4,000 square feet with the product. And we just go ahead, Spraying along. And now personally, I like to do this treatment twice in the spring. Usually about a month or so apart. Now you can kind of tell where we sprayed, where we haven't. See a little bit of a difference in the color of the grass. That's why it's nice to use the dye. Helps you keep track of where you've been and where you still gotta spray. Nice to wear some long pants while doing this too, especially with the dye. Otherwise, you're gonna end up looking like a Smurf. And we just go along. Not gonna keep you guys too long on this video. This is just repetitive. Go back and forth. Spray the lawn. Now this blue dye just eventually washes out of the grass after a couple days. And that's it. Thanks again. Please like and subscribe, and take care.